U.S. destroyers shell Jap positions on Caballo, Philippine Islands, as troops of the 2nd Battalion, 51st Regiment, 38th Division invade the tiny island just off the south coast of Corregidor. 155mm howitzers based on nearby Bataan lay down a protective barrage of white phosphorus to screen landing operations. B-25s and P-51s strafe and bomb the island. The rocky Caballo hillsides are thoroughly pounded. Preliminary shelling clears the beach of enemy opposition, and our troops encounter little Jap resistance as they spread out over the heavily mined beach. Elements of the 38th Division moving inland over rough hill country run into some sniper fire. Bazookas fire on Jap tunnel positions at hill number 1. Destroying Japs entrenched in hillside caves. Our troops used grenades and demolition charges composed of 25 pounds of TNT in a bag with a 15-second fuse. Resulting explosions close all but the biggest caves, leaving the Japs inside to starve. Patrols attempt to rescue troops of E and F Company's 151st Regiment stranded without water, food, and ammunition on the top of a hillside. The rescue party tries to scale the 250-foot 90-degree cliff with the aid of a guide rope, but crumbling rocks make it impossible for troops to climb the hillside. When the rope is secured to the top of the hill, supplies are hoisted to the stranded men. First attempts to pull the water cans are unsuccessful, and additional men have to be placed on the hillsides to lend a hand at pulling. Attempts are first made to lower the wounded by basket litter, but they are unsuccessful. The wounded men are then forced to climb down alone and one at a time. Weak from their wounds and lack of water and food, the men drop exhausted on a shelf of the cliff and are helped down the rest of the way by medics. Several of the rescuing party are hurt when huge rocks are dislodged and rolled down the hill. LCMs removed the wounded to LST hospital ships. Invasion of another Philippine island. Troops of the 3rd Battalion, 182nd Regiment, Americal Division, land at Talisay Point, Cebu. The attack follows a bombardment by cruisers and destroyers of the 7th Fleet. Opposition is moderate on the beach, although our troops are brought under small arms and mortar fire. Major General William H. Arnold, commander of the Americal Division, maps the drive on Cebu City, 2nd largest in the Philippines. Mortars and other equipment are brought ashore. Troops quickly drive inland against disorganized enemy resistance. Elaborate tank traps and roadblocks are encountered along the highway leading from Talisay to Cebu City, 5 miles away. Landmines form part of the enemy's extensive coast defenses. These positions were abandoned by the enemy, whose garrison was weakened when troops were sent to fight at Leyte. Our losses in the invasion were described as extremely light. 4.2-inch mortars are brought forward by men of the 80th Mortar Battalion. 90 minutes after hitting the beach, our tanks and troops had driven more than 800 yards inland. First organized enemy resistance is encountered on the outskirts of Pardo, a village 2 miles from Cebu City. With grenades and rifle fire, troops try to flush out Jap snipers hiding in a house. house is set afire to drive the enemy out into the open. 5 of the 6 snipers in the house were killed, while 1 was wounded. Quickly wiping out the remaining Jap resistance in palm groves, rice paddies, and mangrove swamps, tanks and troops move on Pardo. Entering Pardo, our troops are greeted by Filipino civilians. Machine guns and ammunition are hauled to the front in native carts called tatarmillas. During the first day's fighting, 88 Jap troops are killed and 16 taken prisoner. Our troops approach Cebu City. Retreating Japs filled the streets with mines and planted booby traps in homes and public buildings. Whole blocks were destroyed by demolition charges, but harbor facilities were undamaged. Fort San Pedro, an old military installation in the city. Capture of Cebu ends the Jap hold on all the Central Philippines.